are those warrior stands out
Ooh,
there.
I'm
Yeah.
trying-
So I went with the English U, and I figured that Tropius in the Galar region, just because of where it lives, has a very different type of fruit that it grows, and it's not sweet, and you should not feed it to children. In fact, it's poisonous.
What?
So my Galarian
What, is he not in his normal spot? Weird.
Let's get down to business. Your butt.
Woot. Wanna feel fine.
Tropius is not grass flying anymore, it's grass poison. And I figured that it would kind of have this more of a hostile look because it's dangerous. You don't want to eat these berries. And also the English yew has coniferous needles, which are
For sons and
Stephen, everyone believes in Stephen, all across the universe.
Ever compassionate.
Can you imagine me? Even with us at our worst, hybrid son of a diamond,
Human son of a rose.
what a revelation! He's a revolution, a gem that loves and grows. Stephen, have you heard the tale of?
Have you heard the tale of
Stephen? Always putting others first. Can you imagine it? Ever compassionate Stephen, you. Just let us adore you.
You guys have really gotten better at showing affection. But I've got my own life to get back to. Don't forget, I'm not Pink Diamond.
Yes, we know that you're not her, but you were hers. You know what it meant to love her, and you remind us so much of her.
Thanks, but I really gotta go.
But Stephen, I've disbanded my armies. I've liberated my colonies.
I never shatter. I never make anyone cry. I've been saying please and thank you even to lower life forms.
What did we talk about?
Equal life forms. Stephen, we've done everything you've asked.
That's great! Good job! Keep it up! Bye! Here we are in the future. Here we are in the future, and it's bright. Nothing to fear, no one to fight. I can't believe we've come so far. Happily ever after, here we are. Once upon a time, I thought I'd always be in my mother's shadow. Answering for her crimes, I thought I'd always be in an endless battle. Till I began to own a power all my own that I could feel growing stronger every day. And now I saved the world, not just that, the whole galaxy saved. We did it! Here we are in the future. Hey, Pearl. Hey, Dad.
Hey, Stewball.
Steven! I'm learning to play the bass.
I keep telling her it's bass.
Excuse me, B-A-S-S spells bass.
You're the boss.
Heck yes, I am.
Once upon a time, I only lived to be of Pink Diamond's service, till the day the two of us snuck down to be on this planet's surface. We became our fantasy, and I was sure she set me free. But in the end, I guess I never left her side. And after love and loss and all the tears that I cried, I find that here we are in the future.
Hey, buddy. I'm heading into town.
See you at the concert tonight?
Wouldn't miss it for the world. Here we are.
I saved you a seat.
Thanks, Garnet. Hey, guys. What'd I miss?
You're just in time for my favorite part of the story. Once upon a time, Sapphire came to Earth with a ruby soldier. Sapphire's deadly fate was set until the ruby rushed in to hold her. Suddenly they were fusing. Beautiful, strange, confusing. And there I was, a bundle of questions, so naive that if you told me this, I never would have believed you then. But here we are in the future.
Let me just save this. idea what Amethyst is up to?
I have every idea what everyone is up to. You'll find her if you head to Little Homeworld. Take the walk.
Whoa! Careful, dude! Pew! Pew!
1, 2, 3. Thanks, Amethyst.
Steven, you're just in time. We're about to install the new warp.
Which means Little Homeworld is 83.7% complete.
Only 83.7%? We'd better get cracking.
I'm on it.
Wow, Little Homeworld's growing fast.
So are you.
Look at me, I'm a young adult.
I love that all these gems want to make their new home on Earth. Wish I'd had this when I first emerged. Once upon a time, I burst to life inside of the kindergarten, a product of a war that I had no idea I had a part in. I came out late and alone, knew nothing but my home. But I know now exactly who I'm supposed to be, and it's a part of this family. So, what do you think?
If I could just stop right here and be finally done, finally us, finally we are in the future.
Here we are in the future, and it's bright.
Nothing to fear, no one to fight. I can't believe we've come so far. Happily ever after.
Happily ever after.
Happily ever after. Here we are. Here we are in the future. Here we are.
well. Let me get a look at the menagerie. You must be Amethyst. You must be Garnet. And Pink Diamond's Pearl. Well, she took you with her. Isn't that just swell?
It can't be.
Oh, but it can be. And it is. I got a new style and a few new toys that are gonna put an end to your happily ever after once and for all.
Whoa, this has got to be a misunderstanding. In case you haven't heard, I've established peace across the...
Yeah, I've heard. I've had your little message to the universe on loop. I just love that part where Pink Diamond spends the rest of her days on this nowhere planet with a bunch of nobodies.
That's right, I heard the story over and over again. Gee, it's swell to finally meet her other friend. That's right, I heard the story, don't really like how it ends. Gee, it's swell to finally meet her other friend.
What did she say about me? What did she say? What did you do without me? What did you do? Did you play games without me? What did you play?
Did you think all this time that I wouldn't find out about you? Oh, that's right, I heard the story over and over again. Gee, it's swell to finally meet her other friend.
She's running circles around us.
I'm rusty. Give me a break.
It really is her. But she can't be serious.
You know her, Pearl? Can you tell us who she is?
Who am I? Who am I? What are you even saying? I'm the loser of the game. You didn't know you were playing. Let's play another game. This time I got to win. Lives on the line. Winner takes all. Ready or not, let's begin. Oh, that's right. I heard the story over and over again. Gee, it's swell to finally beat her other friend. Oh, that's right. I heard the story. Don't really like how it ends. Gee, it's swell to finally beat her other
How do you do, my Greg universe? Thank you for bringing me into the world. I am at your eternal service. Welcome to your new pearl.
What's going on? Could her gem be cracked?
It looks fine to me. Ruby, are you okay?
Who are you? You're not my assignment.
I could really use an explanation here.
Allow me to illuminate. A ruby guard, but just a single one. They tend to come in teams of 3 or more. A precious sapphire, she sees the future. That's who the ruby's for.
My sapphire, as my sworn duty and sole purpose, I will protect you and
ruin my life.
I know you will. That's why I predict you won't last more than a day.
Huh?
Come now.
Amethyst! Hey, Amethyst?
Hey, Amethyst?
What? No, you're Amethyst!
What? No, you're Amethyst.
You must be right. This is an amethyst, except an amethyst is big and strong. This one is not the best example. Something is clearly wrong. I do say something is clearly wrong. What are all these different gems doing here in this strange place?
Pearl, don't you recognize them? Don't you recognize me?
Well, I certainly recognize my Omgreg universe.
Oh boy.
As for you,
Get back! Huh?
I'm so excited to meet you!
You're not mad?
Mad? Why would I be mad at my best friend?
this will be fun. Aren't you the lucky one? Her cut is perfect and she's pink as well. She'll bring you endless entertainment. Your new best friend, Spinel.
Why are they looping?
Here we are in the future. Here we are in the future, and it's wrong. Just a second ago, we were singing this song, and now they're gone because of her. Happily ever after, there we were.
When has it ever been easy? Hasn't it always been hard to be us? When you go against the grain, there's always somebody around you can't trust. That's why we we've got to have each other. Why, we'll figure this out, we must. Because you are the crystal gems. And we never give up on our friends. As long as one of us is standing to brandish the star, we'll find a way to save the day. That's who we are.
Here we are in the future. Here we are in the future, and it's wrong. Look at them, they're not even singing along. If I could have just stopped right there, we'd be totally fine, totally us, totally me.
Even if it takes 1,000 years to get them back, we will. They may not know who they are, but we do. Believe me, Stephen, I've known them longer. I've seen them get through us and come back stronger. That's why I believe in them, and I believe in you, because we are the crystal gems. And we never give up, no, we never give up on our friends. As long as one of us is standing to brandish the star, we'll find a way to save the day. That's who we are.
Right. Okay. Let's put our heads together. There's gotta be some way to make them remember.
What if it's like a puzzle? If we give them all the pieces, eventually they'll get the picture.
Spinel, you might be onto something. If every experience they lost is a piece of who they are, we just have to give them back all the pieces. One experience at a time.
Are you serious? That could take forever.
Exactly. So let's get started. We'll find a way to save the day. That's who we are.
Suddenly hot, I'm suddenly cool, I'm suddenly a genius, I'm suddenly a fool, I'm suddenly fact, but I feel stranger than fiction. I'm new, but I'm suddenly back. I'm a walking contradiction. Doesn't this happening? La da 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 da. Doesn't this happening? Doesn't this happening? And isn't Isn't it? Isn't it love? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it love? And isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it love? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it love? Suddenly hot, I'm
in the light of the day, in the dark of the night, when you're raring to go, when you're tired from the fight, when you're losing your mind, let me give you a thought. I'm gonna be right by your side no matter what. In the dark of the night,
In the dark of the night,
in the light of the day,
in the light of the day,
when you're rising to shine,
when you're rising to shine,
when you're hitting the hay,
when you're hitting the hay,
I'll be hanging around.
I'll be hanging around.
If you like it or not,
If you like it or not,
I'm gonna be right by your side no matter what. No matter what,
no matter what,
no matter what,
no matter what,
no matter what, no matter what, no matter what,
no matter what,
oh, I'm gonna be
I'm gonna be
right by your side.
right by your side.
I'm gonna be right by your side no matter what.
In the dark of the night, in the light of the day, when your eyes are shine, when you're hitting the hay.
Just remember this song.
How's it go? I forgot.
I'm gonna be right by your side no matter what. Through whoever you've been,
Through whoever you've been,
through whoever you'll be,
through whoever you'll be,
through whatever you lose,
through whatever you lose,
you will always have
you
me.
will always have
At the end of your road,
at the end of your road.
I'll be holding you tight.
I'll be holding you tight.
I'm gonna be right by your side no matter what. Be right by your side. Be right by your side. Be right by your side no matter what. master of you. And isn't the thought enough to lift you off of the ground?
Nothing is holding me back now. No one can push me around. What do I want to be? I'm the master of me. And isn't the thought enough to lift me off of the ground?
We could be independent together. Independent together we can fly. Independent together. Independent together. Independent together, you and I. But me, every step and every choice. It's my fault, it's my thought, it's my words, it's my voice.
Independent together, independent together if we try. Independent together, independent together, independent together,
you and I.
independent together, independent together we can fly. Independent together, independent together, independent together, you and I. Independent together, you and I.
Here in the garden, let's play a game. I'll show you how it's done. Here in the garden, stand very still. This'll be so much fun. And then she smiled, that's what I'm after. The smile in her eyes, the sound of her laughter. Happy to listen, happy to play, happily watching her drift away. Happily waiting, all on my own, under the endless sky. Counting the seconds, standing alone, as thousands of years go by. Happily wondering, night after night, is this how it works? Am I doing it right? Happy to listen, happy to stay, happily watching her drift away. You keep on turning pages for people who don't care, people who don't care about you. And still it takes you ages to see that no one's there, see that no one's there, see that no one's there. Everyone's gone on without you. Finally something, finally news about how the story ends. She doesn't exist now, survived by her son and all of her brand new friends. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that cool? And isn't that cruel? And aren't I a fool to have happily listened, happy to stay, happily watching her drift, Here in the garden, let's play a game. I'll show you how it's...
Spinel, come back and save the Earth with me. You can start over there. Make new friends. Someday, somewhere, somehow, you'll love again. You just need to find someone.
Someday, somewhere, somehow, I'll love again. I just need to find someone. Someone who treats you better. Someone who wants me around. Someday, somewhere, somehow, you're gonna feel found. Today, right here, right now, I already feel found.
when a difficult day goes by. Keeping it together is hard, but that's why you got to try, you got to try. And when there's a thundering storm outside, underneath the covers you huddle and hide. Open your eyes, open your eyes. It's the truth, it's the truth, it's the true kind of love. It's the truth, it's the truth, it's the true kind of love. Stuck in the middle of fear and shame, everybody's looking for someone to blame. Like it's a game, like it's a game. And now I am better than win or lose. There's a new direction that I like to choose. It's called the truth, it's called the truth.
Show me that solvable problem. We can get through this. I'll do the hardest part with you.
It's the truth, it's the truth, it's the true kind of love. It's the truth, it's the truth, it's the true kind of love. It's the truth, it's the truth, it's the true kind of love. It's the truth, it's the truth.
I can make a promise. I can make a plan. I can make a difference. I can take a stand. I can make an effort if I only understand that I can make a change. You can make it different. You can make it right. You can make it better. We don't have to fight. You can make an effort, starting with tonight. 'Cause you can make a change. Just let us adore you. Come live with us in the palace. There's a room waiting for you.
Come on,
Come on, come on. Just let us adore you. Yes, we know that you're not her, but you were hers. You know what it meant to love her, and you remind us so much of her. You think you can handle them? They're not exactly easy to get along with.
Today, right here, right now, I'll love again. I've already found someone.
Just let us adore you.
Today,
Come live
right
with us
here,
in the
right
palace.
now,
There's a room waiting for
I'll
you.
love again.
Come on,
I've already
come on.
found someone.
Just let us adore you.
Yes, I know that you're not her, and I was hers. You know what it meant to love her, and you remind me so much of her.
Today, right here, right now, we'll love again. We've already found someone. Here we are in the future. Here we are in the future, and it's bright. Nothing to fear, no one to fight. I can't believe we've come so far. Happily ever after, there we were,
And here we are.
so happily we'll face whatever comes our way. And after we might do it all again. Here we are in the future.
Here we are in
I'll
the
be
future.
ready every day for as long as I can say. I can make a change.
Here we are in the future.
I can make a change.
Here we are in the future.
I can make a change.
Here we are in the future.
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 Here we are. Here we are. Come so far. And it's bright, 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 and it's bright.
I'll be ready every day for as long as I can say. Here I am in the future with my friends. Let's wait. Happily ever after never ends. Here we are in the future. Here we are in the future, and it's bright. Nothing.
Pokemon Leaf Green with one Shuckle was brutal, so let's do something drastically different. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Black with a team of only First Form Bugs? First Form Bugs have really bad base stats, but the variety of them in Gen 5 gives us a lot of room to get creative with their movesets. Between Gen 5 having reusable TMs and so many different bugs to pick from, I should be able to build a really creative team. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if you think I can win or not. I'm pretty confident that I can do this, but that the early game will be really hard. Bugs tend to faint fast, and it'll take a while to get a full team. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use first form bug Pokemon. I'll need other Pokemon for HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. I also can't use any bug Pokemon that only have one form either, like Durant or a Genesect. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only held items and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, thanks to Phil Bradshaw in the comments for suggesting this. Let's do this. So, we can't get our first bug Pokemon until after the second gym, so I decided to use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to start with the earliest one that we can catch instead, Sewaddle. It's a grass and bug type with a bit of a lackluster moveset early on, but it'll have to do. Ours has the fantastic ability Swarm, so its bug moves do 50% more damage when we are below 1/3 of our max health. Our nature is sassy, so less speed and more special defense. I don't really have a strong opinion on that. Low speed is kinda lame, but I'm fine with it. Oh, also, I don't know if you noticed, but mine is shiny. Yes, I'm serious, and I swear to God, I didn't do some kind of hack to make this shiny. I literally just used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to change Snivy for Sewaddle. That's it. No way I am restarting to get a new nature, cause this is too cool. And before you accuse me of hacking the ROM so that I always get a shiny, let me prove that this is legit. Watch this. Here's my shiny, named Joey. I save, restart the game, start a new game. Let's fast forward through the intro a bunch, pick the same Pokemon, and as you can see here, it's not a shiny this time, no sparkle when it came out. This is all without switching to a different ROM, so you know it's legit. First try. Got a shiny as my starter. Also, if I start sounding really hoarse over the course of this video, yeah, I'm sick, but I don't want to delay this video by yet another week, so enjoy ASMR MDB this week. I grind a little on Patrat and Lil Pup in Route 1 to get some attack EVs and gain Bug Bite. A decent move for this early, and I'll probably keep it the whole game. Unfortunately, this might be our only strong move until after the always brutal second gym, so this won't be easy. The first fight with N was a one-shot thanks to Bug being super effective against Dark. You know, Bug Bite will probably be super useful for stealing berries from gym leaders and rivals. Bianca was no problem, but Sharon was hard. Tepig is both super effective against us, and our bug moves are not very effective against him. In fact, we're double weak to fire, so we take 4 times damage. I do use Bug Bite to eat his Oran Berry to heal myself, and thanks to that I was able to take him out after not too long. Let's move right on to the first gym. I get paired up with Fire Trainer Chili, and I just don't stand a chance yet. I got Razor Leaf at level 15, but it's grass, and Bug Bite is bug, so all I can do is tackle Chili, who has double type advantage on me, so I take 4 times normal damage from his fire moves. I definitely need to grind. While I grind, here's a little map that I made showing where all the bugs we can catch are. So we're right here for grinding. We can get Venipede in Pinwheel Forest, Dwebble in Desert Route, Carablast at Route 6, Joltik at Chargestone Cave, Shelmet at Route 8, and lastly a Mystery Egg on Route 18. I wonder what's going to be in that. We actually have to get pretty far into the game for many of these, so this is going to be a pain. Anyway, the grind is done and we're level 18. I tried the gym battle again, but even at level 18, I can't win this fight yet. I even held an Oran Berry since held items are allowed in the rules, but it just gets burnt up by Incinerate. This grind is really slow on level 4 to 7 wild Pokemon. It takes a bit over an hour, but we hit level 20 and I try the fight again. It's a scary fight because I still take so much more damage and he has a potion. He manages to take me all the way down to 2 health, but my tackles do just enough to take him out. We can finally make some progress again. Just outside of town, Sharon challenges us. Fire types are terrifying to deal with right now, and I nearly went down to his embers, but I was able to overpower him. His Purloin went down to 1 Bug Bite after, so thankfully I didn't have to grind more. Last before the second gym, we have another battle with N. He isn't anything too dangerous though, we take him out without any real trouble. The actual gym battle though goes poorly, but better than you might expect. I was using Razor Leaf hoping for a crit, but once I got below 1/3 of my health, Swarm kicked in and powered a Bug Bite to the point that I could take it Herdier even with Intimidate lowering my attack. Ha! Did you catch that? I didn't get Herdier wrong this time. Whatgeek gave me a phonetical pronunciation of every Pokemon in my whole script. You guys can't make fun of me for pronouncing all the Gen 5 Pokemon names wrong anymore. Watchog took me out with Retaliate like I was nothing though, and I think this is going to take more than a few attempts to win this, so I decide to go grind more. Thankfully there's a much better grinding spot this time, even if it's not great. There's a doctor that's easy to talk to, a few trainers in the area, and the levels are a bit better. And yes, I fought Audino whenever I saw Wrestling Grass. People thought I didn't do that at all in the previous one. I don't know why I even brought it up. Next attempt and we're level 28. Herdier goes well thanks to only taking 2 Razor Leafs to take it out, and Watchhog comes out. Just like in the Bidoof challenge, I win entirely because he bafflingly decides not to use Retaliate. He just leers me, so a critical Razor Leaf takes him out. Perfect. Now that we have access to Pinwheel Forest, we can finally get our second Pokemon, Venipede. It's Bug and Poison type and has access to some pretty solid moves, so I'm happy to have this one. Ours is Impish nature, so defense is up and special attack is down. Pretty good. His ability is Swarm, just like Joey. I name him Says. Our next Pokemon isn't until after the 3rd gym, so let's go get that badge. Berg the Bug Trainer starts with Whirlipede, and instantly I know that I can't win this fight yet. Whirlipede resists Grass, Bug, and Poison, so almost every type that I have attacking moves for right now. A bit of grinding later, and I try again. This time I open with Says, and I use Screech 3 times to destroy Whirlipede's defense, then I keep using Bug Bite until I get the knockout. Next is Dwebble, so I switch for Joey and use Razor Leaf. I get really unlucky missing the first time, considering it's 95 accuracy, but the next 2 hit and knock him out easily. Last is Levani, who's weak to both Bug and Poison, so I switch to Says to see if I can poison him. A few Poison Tails did do a bit of damage, but Says couldn't last. Joey is out and I finish it easily with a Bug Bite. I got lucky, none of Berg's Pokemon landed in red health this time, so he never got to use his Super Potion. Before we can get our next Pokemon, we have 2 rival battles in rapid succession. First with Bianca. She's nothing too hard to deal with though, she doesn't really have anything that can handle our team yet, so let's just move on to Charon. It starts well, but now he's got Pignite, who's fire and fighting by this point. This thing is a nightmare to deal with because it resists Grass, double resists Bug, and has double type effectiveness against Joey. He made short work of us. I decided to try a few more times, this time replacing Joey's Struggle Bug with Attract. Although I make more progress, I still need to get very lucky to actually win this way. I decide to grind just a little bit more. I'll need levels sooner or later anyway. Grinding in this part of the game is especially hard, since the highest level Audinos we can find are in the Pinwheel Forest, so they're about half our level. Plus, the Shaking Grass and Pinwheel Forest aren't always Audino, sometimes they're much lower experience value Pokemon. Grinding and Shaking Grass also slows down other videos I work on, since normally I can pay half attention to the game while grinding and focus on more editing and stuff, but I guess that's part of the trade-off of getting experience faster. It's a shame because that's actually how I get Pokemon challenges that are really long done while still getting one done a week, is, while grinding in one, I can be editing the previous one I did, so I'm getting multiple done at the same time. Case in point, that's why this video's a week late, sorry. I'm just happy I get to level up multiple Pokemon, and thus it doesn't require as high a level, since Gen 5 gives you less experience if you're over-leveled. Hey, author's note, this is Future MDB here. That was wrong. It actually took me way longer to grind in this by the end of the run than, God, almost anything else I've done. I think it took longer than the Wobbuffet one. Jesus. A while later and we take another shot at Charon. Pidove is easier to take out now without it spamming Roost, but Pignite is still pretty terrifying. I was able to get in a bit of damage with Says and use a Bug Bite to steal his berry before being taken out. Joey was able to finish it with a few attacks of his own, but not without taking a lot of damage first. Pansage is next, but one Bug Bite takes it out, and last is Liepard. It's faster and hits Pursuit, nearly taking us out, but our Bug Bite one-shots it, finally making our way through this really hard chunk of the run. With that taken care of, we can finally go to the Desert Resort and catch Dwebble. It's a rock and bug type that has a lot of pretty useful moves. Ours has the ability Shell Armor, so it can't get critically hit, and the nature is Bashful, so neutral stats. I name him Follow, and he's gonna be great since the next gym is the electric type one. I decide to help Follow catch up a bit in levels. Thankfully, there are much better grinding locations available to us now, so this doesn't take long at all. Next, we're on to N. Sorry if the battle isn't super exciting to watch, I forgot to turn battle animations back on after grinding. The fight was nothing too special though. For the most part, Joey and Follow could handle it, with me finishing his last Pokemon with Says. Next, we have to do the electric gym. I grinded a lot for this fight, and it's a tough one. Volt Switch hits too hard to use Stealth Rock, since we can't give up our opportunities to use Rock Slide. We take out one Emolga and Zebstrika with it before Follow goes down. I try for Razor Leaf with Joey, but it doesn't get much done before 2 Aerial Aces take him out. I send out Cez, and a critical Poison Tail wins the fight for me. Between him holding a Scope Lens and Poison Tail's raised crit chance though, that wasn't as lucky as it looked. One more Cheren fight before we get more Pokemon. For once, he was pretty easy. Now that Follow is a high level and has a strong rock move, Pignite isn't nearly as much of an issue. With that taken care of, we have another Pokemon to catch. We go to Route 6 to catch Carablast. Mine has Shed Skin, so it sometimes removes its own status afflictions, and its adamant nature, so it has increased attack and lowered special attack. Considering it learned some high power moves, this might end up being pretty strong. Ground Gym Leader Clay is harder than I'd expect thanks to his Excadrill. It uses Hone Claws to jack up its attack and accuracy, then Rock Slide through our team like we're nothing on the first try. I'm thinking Attract might be a better route. I try for that, but I still get one shot if Excadrill isn't immobilized for multiple rounds, so I decide to grind more. This has actually been way more grind heavy than I expected. I figured that I could get by mostly by good move choice, but the fact of the matter is that our stats are really low. I had a good time watching Amanda Eck? Amanda EC? Amanda doing some speedrun practice. Check her out on Twitch in the description. I like to try and support small channels that help keep me sane during the grinding. Now we're up to level 40 and we stand a chance. Krokorok goes down easy since we're faster than him. Excadrill is next, so I use Attract on him while he hones his claws. I decide that Razor Leaf is my best bet, and 2 nearly take him out as Clay uses a Hyper Potion. Between him spamming Hone Claws and being immobilized by Love, I manage to never get hit by him. Last is Palpitoad, who goes down to 1 Razor Leaf, winning us the battle. Last before we get another Pokemon is another Bianca fight. Nothing worth talking about in this one though, easy beatdown. With that win, we can get on to Chargestone Cave and catch our next Pokemon, Joltik. I love this thing, it's one of my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon. Ours is hasty, so less defense and more speed. Great nature, since Electro Ball does more damage the faster I am compared to my opponent. Its ability is Unnerve, so our opponent can't eat berries. Not super strong, but I'll take what I can get, even though it popping up every battle makes grinding it way slower. It's nice to have an electric type on the team, though. Speaking of Chargestone Cave, we have another N fight here. He's loaded up with steel types, and we don't really have much to deal with that, so I mostly just use Bug Buzz a lot since it's a special attacking move. We were never in any serious danger, but it's a surprisingly long fight. Next up is the Flying Gym, so I'm happy that we have a Joltik. She sends out Swoobat, and I open with Follow. It hits Acrobatics, a really strong move, but it doesn't hurt us much, so between the recoil of our Rock Helmet and our Rock Slide, we take it out easily. Swanna is next, and it hits Bubble Beam, taking Follow out. I send On out. Swanna Aqua Rings, but I hit an Electro Ball for double type advantage. Shockingly, Swanna doesn't faint and hits Aerial Ace as I finish it with an Electro Web. Next is Unpheasant, and I throw another Electro Web at it for massive damage and lowering its speed. It starts charging a Razor Wind, but my Electro Ball finishes it off for a surprisingly easy fight. On my way out of town, we have another Cheren battle. This is usually a rough one, but it goes incredibly smoothly. Nothing too bad. With that battle, we get Surf though, so I can take a trip back to the start of the game and head west to Route 18 to pick up an egg from this cabin. Take your guesses as to what's going to be in this egg, everybody. Let me know in the comments. Gee, I sure do hope that it's a first form bug Pokemon that I can use. My team feels really weird right now. It feels like a very important word is missing. No time to think about that though, we have badges to collect. My show is so stupid, why do you guys watch this crap? Next is the Ice Gym, another type we're weak against. I thought I was doomed, but it started better than I thought. Vanillish and Beartic both went down easily to a few rock slides, but his Cryogonal was absolutely wrecking me. Even with me hitting Toxic early in the fight, I lost a lot of Pokemon to this thing before it went down. Him having 2 Hyper Potions really kept him in the fight longer than I was expecting, but eventually I won. Who would have thought that the Ice and Flying Gyms would be so simple in a bug challenge? Now that we're in the area though, we can catch our last wild Pokemon that we can use in this run. fun. A Shelmet. I catch one and name it Luster? Luster Purge Pink? What a strange name. I wonder why I'd name it that. I guess you'll all have to Google and figure out what that's a reference to. Anyway, its ability is Hydration, so it heals status problems in the rain. Not very useful. Hardy nature, so no stat bonuses, but its moves aren't too bad. It's actually got a few really cool ones. It has the lowest base stats of any Pokemon we can use in this run though, so we might not use it a ton. But again, it does learn a few fantastic moves if I level it up pretty hard. It's situational, but I might hold on to this. With that done, we have one last Bianca fight. She still just isn't that hard. Stoutland takes out Cez easily, but not before losing half of his health and getting hit by Toxic. I send out On, and a Signal Beam and Toxic finish it off. Simisear is out, so I switch for Follow. It uses Leer, so I end it with Rock Slide. Samurott is next, so I switch for Joey. It tries to Encore when I haven't used a move yet, like an idiot, so 2 Razor Leafs take it out. Masharna's last, and it just keeps trying to buff itself, so I spam Bug Bite and Bug Buzz. It puts me to sleep at one point and it does some damage with Psybeam, but it was so obsessed with not using attacking moves that I won the fight that I really shouldn't have won. Last is the Dragon Gym, but as much as we're on a roll recently, I finally need to stop and grind again. Most Pokemon that we're fighting are about our level, but with far higher stats than us, so it's time to bulk up a bit. During the grind though, the egg starts to hatch, last chance to guess on what it'll be. It's Larvesta, a fire and bug Pokemon. Interesting combo. Ours is Lax, so extra defense at the cost of special defense, and it has Flame Body, a great ability that sometimes burns Pokemon who hit us with a physical move. I name it Twitter, link in the description, and start grinding it up, since this thing can get pretty strong. After a decent amount of grinding, I take a shot at the Dragon Gym. I name it Twitter, link in the description, and start grinding it up, since this thing can get pretty strong. After a decent amount of grinding, I take a shot at the Dragon Gym. He only has 3 Pokemon, so he isn't too bad, although Haxorus is an absolute beast. Much like the Cryogonal from the Ice Gym, we had to slowly whittle this guy down with half my team before I could beat him. Last before the Elite Four, though, we have one last Cheren fight. We absolutely don't stand a chance yet, though. Emboar can sweep most of our team with Flamethrower, so I need to grind much more. An entire day later, and we're trying again. Unfezant tries to stall on with Direct, but Electro Ball crits and takes it out in one hit. Emboar is out, and I Electro Web it to lower its speed, knowing that I'll probably faint. It hits Flamethrower, and On is down, but at least the rest of my team is faster now. Emboar has leftovers too, so it heals every turn. Cez is out, and I manage to hit Toxic. Another Flamethrower, and Cez goes down. I send out Follow next and try to Rock Slide for some damage, but it doesn't do much. I hardly survive Flamethrower and hit another Rock Slide. Between the poison damage and the Rock Slide damage, we both faint that round. Joey is out next with Liepard, and although Night Slash hits hard, Bug Buzz nearly knocks it out. We survive a second Night Slash and finish it off with a second Bug Buzz. Last is Simisage, so we keep Joey in the fight. Seed Bomb does almost nothing, and one Bug Buzz ends the rival fight. Next we have a strange challenge, the Elite Four. 2 of the Elite Four are weak to Bug type, and that's nice, but I'm worried about the fighting trainers since we resist each other. Much to my surprise though, even the Dark Trainer was too much for us. His Scrafty absolutely destroyed us. I could hardly survive it, and I didn't get much farther in the fight beyond that. I have to grind again. This grind is pretty horrible. The best thing I can grind my team on is the Elite Four Psychic member, but her second Pokemon one-shots most of my team, every time with Air Slash and Psychic. For a while I even resort to grinding in Victory Road. Before this, I was even grinding on Audinos at the route before Victory Road, but that was so much slower, especially with the travel time to the Poke Center, whereas in Victory Road I have a doctor right there. Eventually, my team is at level 60, so I go after the Dark member first. This time, I was able to take out Scrafty without even taking damage, thanks to using Twitter with Acrobatics. No, I don't know why Larvesta can learn Acrobatics either. Second out is his Liepard, and it goes down to 1 Bug Buzz from Joey. Third is a very powerful Bisharp, but I've got Fire Blast, and between that and him being burned from Flame Body, he got taken out before he could full restore. Last was his Crocodile, and Follow took him out with no problem and a couple of X-Scissors. 10 levels really made a world of difference here, thanks to not being slower than him. Next is the Psychic Elite Four member, and she's tough, but I was able to beat her in training, so this wasn't so bad. First is Runecluse, so I have Follow set up a Stealth Rock. Psychic hits us incredibly hard as my X-Scissor almost takes him out. Follow goes down as I send out Joey. She uses a full restore as I expected, but even with low special attack, Bug Buzz did a lot. A Bug Bite finishes it off. Next is Sigilyph, who's part flying, so this is a lot harder to fight. Stealth Rock heard it, and an Electro Ball from On nearly took it out, but Psychic hits us hard, and it's in full restore range. I'm faster though, so 2 Electro Balls took it out no problem. Third is Masharna, so I Bug Buzz it for solid damage. Psychic takes out On, so I switch for Joey and finish it off with a Bug Bite. Last is Gothitelle, and I keep using Bug Bite. Psychic crits and nearly takes us out, but another Bug Bite ends it. Oh god, I suffer for you guys. Next is the fighting trainer Marshall. He is absolutely terrifying since his whole team have rock moves. He sends out Throw first, so I send out Follow and set up my Stealth Rock. He hits hard with Stone Edge, but at least Follow is tanky. I hit X-Scissor for almost no damage, but honestly, Throw isn't using the best moves in the world either. Rock Slide also hits for almost no damage as he finishes me with a Stone Edge. At least I got my Stealth Rock in. Twitter is next, and I hit hard with Acrobatics, finishing Throw off. He sends Sock out next, and I switch for On so that I can lower his speed with Electro Web. I know that Stone Edge will one-shot most of my team, so I'm gonna need a speed advantage if I'm gonna stand a fighting chance. On just hardly manages to hang on long enough for an Electro Ball, although Sock survives and finishes me off. Twitter is back out and easily finishes the fight with Acrobatics. Third is Conkeldurr, perhaps the doofiest name I've ever heard for a Pokemon. I hit Toxic with Sez, and thankfully he misses Stone Edge. I hit Venoshock for a good chunk of damage, and almost faint to a Stone Edge. A second Venoshock, and although I faint, my Poison finishes him off. That went better than I expected. I send out Luster Purge Pink, and he sends out Mindshow. I get hit hard with Rock Slide as I start to build up my Acid Armor for defense. The plan was to tank up, recover, and use Final Gambit to one-shot it, but Mindshow crit with a Rock Slide, bypassing my buffed defense and taking me out. I send out Twitter but have a speed disadvantage, taking massive damage from Rock Slide. Acrobatics does manage to win the fight though, so I can't complain too much. Last is the Elite Four Ghost Trainer Chantel. She sends out Cofagrigus, I think I said that right this time, so I send out On. I fail a Sucker Punch twice because she misses Will-O-Wisp twice, and Sucker Punch only works if they're using a damaging move. Weird start. Third one hits for good damage as I get hit with Shadow Ball for half my health. Electro Ball does another good chunk and I hardly survive Shadow Ball. One last Electro Ball ends her. Chandelure is next, so I switch for Follow. Rock Slide hits hard and causes a flinch. She full restores and I Rock Slide again. This time I crit and took her out. So I switch for On as Jellicent comes out. Electro Ball doesn't do as much as I had expected as I go down to Brine. Joey's out. Razorleaf finishes her off. So last out is Golurk. Razorleaf nearly takes it out in one hit as Shadow Punch is surprisingly weak. She full restores despite not having red health, but 2 Razorleafs end the fight. That went far smoother than I was expecting. As usual since third game, the world is basically ending, so we should probably hurry up and beat the game. Good news is that I can heal after the Elite Four in this game. Bad news is there's 2 final bosses after the Elite Four, not just 1. Unlike in my Bidoof run, I have a full party, so thankfully, despite being forced to catch Reshiram, I don't actually have to put him on my party, so I can just start the fight with N right away. I tried this fight so many times, but it just isn't happening. On the very few lucky attempts that I get a few Pokemon into the fight, Archeops one-shots the entire rest of my team with Stone Edge. I have to level even more. The leveling is pretty frustrating. Because of Gen 5's experience system where they give you less experience if the Pokemon are an even lower level than you, challenges like this that require you to be a higher level for your stats to be competitive end up being really, really slow. It's a shame because the unlimited TM use adds a really cool level of strategy, but it doesn't matter how good your moves are, if everything is faster than me and one-shots me, I have no choice but to level up more. This grind was actually so brutal that it's the one that made me realize that I couldn't get this done on the day that I originally wanted this to. Even with me working almost every waking hour I could for days on end, I just couldn't get this one done on time. I'm really sorry about that, guys. I know you guys all love that I do one Pokemon challenge every week. but this challenge was just so much slower than I was expecting. I tried to keep you guys updated on Twitter so that you wouldn't be so disappointed when the video doesn't go up on Saturday, but, you know, I know a lot of you don't follow me there, so I guess the best thing I could do is just explain myself here. Again, I'm really sorry about that. 2 whole days later, and the team hits level 70, so I try the end fight again. Zekrom starts the fight, of course, so I open with Sez to poison him. He hits big with Fusion Bolt, but at least I hit Toxic. He puts up a light screen, so my Venoshock hardly hurts him. Zen Headbutt finishes me off, so I switch for Follow. I set up my Stealth Rock as he goes for another Fusion Bolt for decent damage. Run Rock Slide finishes Zekrom off, so he sends out Caracosta. I switch for Joey, and thanks to my Stealth Rock doing damage, Caracosta can't use Endure to survive my Razor Leaf and ends up getting one-shot. Light Screen finally falls, and he's sending out Kling Clang, so I switch to Twitter to have a Fire type. He uses Flamethrower on me, but he doesn't do too much, as my Fire Blast lands for huge damage, revealing that he's actually using a Zoroark. I think I'm saying that right. Sorry, that's really hard to say with my accent. He full restores as I nail it with yet another Fire Blast. He flamethrowers me one last time, bringing me to low health as my Flame Wheel finishes him off. Archeops is next, and this thing is dangerous. I send out On, and between Electro Ball and Stealth Rock, I take it out before it can hit its terrifying Stone Edge that absolutely would have one-shot me. The real Kling Clang is out next, and I send Twitter back out. I get taken out with a Hyper Beam before I can Fire Blast, so I switch out for Luster Purge Pink and take it out in one hit with Final Gambit while he was recovering. Final Gambit uses all of my health to deal that exact number to the opponent, so although I faint, I completely crush Kling Clang. Last is Vanillux, so I send out On. Stealth Rock hits it hard, as does Electro Ball, as his Blizzard misses. A second Electro Ball finishes off Vanillux, finally winning us the fight. As triumphant as that battle was, and as happy as I am to have finally won the fight, this isn't the final battle before the credits. Next, I have to fight Getsis. He opens with Cofagrigus, and since we just finished the end fight, we still have Sez at the front of our party. Although Cofagrigus goes pretty well with me badly poisoning him, then later Sucker Punching him with On, his next Pokemon is Hydreigon, a brutally strong pseudo-legendary Pokemon. This thing is faster than our entire team and one-shots nearly all of them. Plus, it has 100 accuracy moves like Surf. Once again, because of his speed advantage and one-shotting us, our only choice is to level up more so that we can at least attack first and form a strategy around that. Eventually, we hit level 75 with the whole team and we can try again. This was once again a whole day later, by the way. We open with Sez versus Cofagrigus and I hit Toxic right off the bat. Psychic messes me up, but I hang on and hit a Venoshock. It hardly hurts him as he finishes me off easily. I send out Follow to Stealth Rock as we get hit by Toxic. Feint Attack does more damage than I expected thanks to our high attack stat, so he actually goes down without much trouble. Next is Bisharp, so I switch for Twitter and Fire Blast it for a shocking one-shot. I didn't actually think that it would go down so easily. Next is Symmetode, so I have Joey hit Razor Leaf for another easy one-shot. Hydreigon is next, and I try for Attract, but one Fire Blast takes me out easily. I switch for Luster and try to use Final Gambit, but it Fire Blasts me, so I only end up hitting a measly 47 damage with it. Not nearly enough. Next is On, and I Electro Web to lower its speed for the rest of my team. Fire Blast misses, so I decide to Electro Ball. Before you ask, yes, I did forget that bug is super effective against Hydreigon. It was a little bit brain fright after all the grinding, to be honest. Electro Ball hits hard, but not hard enough as we hang on with 4 health from a Fire Blast. He full restores and I hit another Electro Web to make sure that the rest of my team is faster than him. Another Electro Ball does a bit of damage, and we go down to a Focus Blast. Next is Follow, and Rock Slide hits pretty hard. We get nailed with Surf and go down instantly. Twitter is our last Pokemon, and we end Hydreigon with 1 Acrobatics. He sends out Tauros with an Afro, and I try to overpower it with Acrobatics. We get hit with a Head Charge, but 2 attacks finish it. The last of both of our teams are here as he sends out Electros, a Pokemon that I can never remember if it's electric and water or just electric. I make the mistake of using Acrobatics as he does the same, and we're both pretty hurt. I land a Fire Blast, leaving him with the smallest sliver of health, as he finishes me with Flamethrower. We were so close. As much as that was a heartbreaker, I don't think we need to grind anymore. He relied on Fire Blast, and that's a move that has a high miss chance, so better luck could help, and we could always improve my strategy. Look at our team. Our stats might be crap for this level, but we genuinely have a lot of great moves. If I am really on my A game and have a bit better luck, I can do this. Feint Attack takes Cophagrigus to half health. I get hit by Toxic and set up Stealth Rock. Shadow Ball does a lot of damage, as does the Poison. He stalls us with Protect, so I take even more poison damage before I can finish him with a second Feint Attack. Bisharp is out next, so once again we have Twitter take him out in one Fire Blast. Next is Seismitoad. Again, Joey takes him out in one Razor Leaf. His dreaded Hydreigon is out next, but we're better prepared this time. I switch to On and slow him down with Electro Web again as he nails us with a strong Fire Blast. A second Electro Web really brings his health down due to a crit, as his Focus Blast misses me. I use Electro Ball, but go down to his next Focus Blast. I switch for Joey, and I finally remember that I could be using bug moves, so I Bug Bite him with our high attack and finish him off. Electros is out sooner this time, so I send out Sez and poison it with Toxic. Flamethrower nearly takes us out, as I hit a Venoshock for passable damage. Acrobatics takes us out, but we did a lot of damage. I send out Follow and finish him off with Rock Slide as our own poison finishes us off too. He sends out Buffalant last, but we have the numbers advantage this time. Flame Body burns him, and Acrobatics hits him hard, but he full restores. We're too much for him to handle though, as 2 Acrobatics manage to finish off the fight, winning us the run. That was an awesome run, and I'm sure some of you want me to do the post-game, because there's a lot of post-game in Gen 5, but this video is already a week late. There is no way that I can do the post-game and not have this run go on forever. I gotta get a head start on the next one. Sorry again that this took 2 weeks instead of the usual 1 week. I just had to grind so much more than I expected, so I hope that you guys really like this one. I'm gonna try and pick a faster one for next week. One that you guys have requested that hopefully shouldn't take too long. Pokemon Ruby with 1 Skitty. I predict that this one will be ready for next Saturday. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what challenges I should do next. In fact, this was a requested one, as is the one I'm doing next week, in fact. Also, check out the playlist in the description to watch all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded, because I've done like, 13, 14? If you guys want to see more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend What a Geek and I are doing a Pokemon Black and White randomized playthrough over on his channel. That's in the description. Also, come to my Twitch streams and tell me that this video sent you. It's always cool to hear how you found the channel. And I'm doing a live Pokemon challenge over there that you might be into. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day. Pokemon Gold with every in-game trade was quick, so let's have a brutally long challenge. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Leaf Green with a team of only 1 Shuckle? He is a hardcore defensive bug and rock Pokemon, meant to stall opponents while you set things up like Stealth Rock and Toxic. But if he's the only Pokemon you use, then damage output is going to be a real problem, and we can't get Toxic until after the 6th gym. He also only learns 1 move with the same type attack bonus by TM, and it's Rock Tomb, so not very good. None by level up either. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if you think I can win or not. I think that I might be able to do it, but that grinding is going to be awful, and I'll need every PowerPoint up that I can get. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Shuckle. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Let's do this. So first I edit the game with the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to start with a Shuckle, name him Roman Reigns because he always kicks out, and check my stats. Docile nature, so neutral stat gains, immune to 1-hit KOs, as if that would ever happen anyway, and 2 useless moves. Constrict, a 10 power normal move with a 10% chance to lower speed, and Withdraw, to boost my already insane defense. This is gonna be a long one. I want you to just watch our opening rival battle. He only hits me for 1 damage, but I'm pretty sure I'm only hitting him for 1 or 2 damage as well. This is the first fight of the game, and it takes me 2 full minutes to win the fight. That usually takes you, 20 seconds? Also, 69 experience. Nice. Would you look at that insane looking stat gain? Now, the first gym leader of the game resists normal type attacks, so that brings our Constrict to a power of 5. It doesn't have the same type attack bonus, their Pokemon are tanky, and my attack is low, so it's safe to say I'm doing 1 damage no matter what. I'm gonna have to grind up a bit to get enough health to survive. This is where the real pain comes in. I need to go heal between almost every fight because I get chipped down so much. On top of that, due to my horrible speed, I usually can't run away if I get caught in an extra fight, so fainting while grinding is gonna happen a lot. Early in the grind, I hit level 9 and learn Wrap. It's less accurate and only has 5 more power, but at least it deals 1/16 of the opponent's max health and damage every turn. It's incredibly weak, but it is a drastic boost to our damage output. It's also the only attacking move we learn by level up until Bide. And Bide's not even good for Shuckle because Shuckle is a high defense, low health Pokemon, the opposite of what you want for Bide. I actually end up losing tons of money to fainting, since I usually fail to run from Weedles before I get poisoned, and due to my low health, I can never get back to the Poke Center before Poison finishes Roman off. Poison can actually make your Pokemon faint outside a battle in the older generations, by the way. At level 13, I decide to do the optional rival fight. I get sand attacked right off the bat 4 times, and that's terrifying since I already do so little damage when I hit. My current tactic is just wrapping the opponent early to start dealing passive damage and then constricting until Wrap gets released. Thanks to the sand attacks, the battle goes on for just over 6 whole minutes before I eventually faint. If sand attack messes us up this hard now, I am not looking forward to Nugget Bridge. That's not something to worry about now though, as I can't even get to Brock. There's a required bug trainer with a Weedle who keeps poisoning me on my way to him. Even now that we have Encore, I'm so slow that I can't make him string shot me, since it would be total luck. I may just end up forcing him to hit me more. Yes, we are so weak that we can't beat a level 9 Weedle yet. A few tries later, I beat the Weedle and move on to Pewter City. I got to level 16 and go for Brock. It was an insanely long fight that was going as well as it could for a long time. I only took 10 damage from Geodude thanks to being faster than him after enough constricts, so I could do Encore on him while he was defense curling, but Onix was my downfall. Bind does 2 damage to me every turn, and I just couldn't keep up. In the end, he hits a Rock Tomb for over 4 damage to finish me off. I have no idea why he wasn't doing this the whole time, considering it's super effective. I'll need to grind more. This grind is an especially long one. I'm trying to get to level 20 off level 2 to 5 Pokemon, but it's all I can do. The extra bit of health might be required to win on this one. I go after Brock again, and this time I'm faster than Geodude right off the bat, so it's easier to Encore him with his defense curl, getting him to waste more turns. In the end though, he still dealt 10 damage to me. Onix was an incredibly close call, but the extra health managed to pull out the victory for me. I'm so lucky that he didn't use Rock Tomb. I really have no idea why he didn't. Let me know in the comments if you think you know why. It must be some kind of AI quirk. Speaking of Rock Tomb, it's the only same type attack bonus move Shuckle can learn by TM in 3rd gen, so we use the TM we got from Brock to replace Withdraw. It's not very strong, but it's far stronger than our other moves, and it lowers the speed of whoever it hits, making Encore more useful. Later we could get Rock Slide from a tutor, but I need that speed down from Rock Tomb. Now that we have a real attacking move though, the route to Mount Moon is a cakewalk. Rock is good against Bug and Flying, both are very common types for this point in the game. Fighting other rock types is still going to be a chip battle though. I hit level 23 in Mount Moon and replace Constrict with Safeguard to protect myself against status afflictions. I figured this is going to be a must-have for a lot of bigger battles in the game, at least until we can get rest. Mount Moon was nothing too difficult, but on my way through I took the Helix Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. We're still going with this. Next is the rival battle on Nugget Bridge, and this would probably be impossible if not for Rock Tomb. Pidgeotto likes opening with Sand Attack to ruin our accuracy, but it only takes 2 Rock Tombs to take him out. Next is Charmander, and his Metal Claw hits for 5 damage. That is actually a lot for us, believe it or not. More annoyingly though, he growls at us, lowering our attack. We crit with Rock Tomb and finish him off though. Next is Abra, and he can't fight back, so I just spam Wrap until he faints to save on Rock Tombs. It takes way too long. Last is Rattatas. I wrap him early and get some passive damage going, then spam Rock Tomb, giving us a shockingly easy victory. You'll notice in this video I'm not doing my usual play-by-play commentary. Since battles tend to be insanely long due to my high defense and low attack, this video would be like 2 hours long if I did the blow-by-blow on every major fight. So I hope you guys are cool with this recap style. Nugget Bridge was nothing special, so we're onto the water gym, but this obviously just is not happening yet. Between us having very few power points, water being one of our weaknesses, and her Pokemon using Harden and Recover, we stand no chance at this level. I move on to the next route instead to fight more trainers. I end up hunting down every last trainer that I can find to get as much experience as possible. Between how brutal Misty is, and with how soon I'll have to fight Hikers and Rock Tunnel, I need every level that I can get. During the grind I hit level 37 and learn Rest, our last level up move. I replace Safeguard since Rest removes status afflictions anyway. One last battle before we get back to deal with Misty, and we've got our rival on the S.S. Anne. He opens with Pidgeotto, so I go for Rock Tomb. I'm lucky, and it only sand attacks me once before I take it out. Next is Charmeleon. He smoke screens me, so my accuracy is pretty bad, and Rock Tomb misses. His Metal Claw is super effective, but still pretty weak, so 2 Rock Tombs finish it. Kadabra is next, and it disables Rock Tomb, so I get Wrap going. I went for Encore to make him repeat Disable, but he's faster, so I ended up making him repeat Kinesis, destroying my accuracy. It took forever, but I managed to take him out, mostly with Wrap. Last is Raticate, and it can only do 1 damage, but his Tail Whip is lowering my defense. I rest partway through to heal, and interestingly enough, Wrap is still active while I'm asleep. That's pretty useful. I was worried I'd run out of power points from all the missing, but I got pretty lucky and actually managed to hit Wrap enough times to win. Now, that gets me the Cut HM, but I can't actually use Cut to progress until I have Misty's Cascade badge, so it's time to fight her again. We're 7 levels higher this time, but the strategy is pretty much the same. Wrap for passive damage, Rock Tomb is my main attack. Neither move has amazing accuracy, so luck is very much a factor, and both of our Pokemon use Water Pulse, a move that can cause confusion. Staryu goes down early, and I move on to Starmie. Starmie doesn't have Harden, but does still have Recover, so this could be bad. Even with my insane special defense, Water Pulse actually does decent damage to me. She uses a Super Potion as her health gets low, but I use Rest, so I'm alright. Thanks to my Rock Tombs, I'm faster than her, so unless I get crit out of nowhere or get messed up from confusion, I should be pretty safe. Eventually, I use Encore to force her into using Recover over and over, trying to get her to run out of power points for it while I heal. Eventually, through bad confusion luck though, I faint. My god, this fight is horrible. Still better than when I did it with Magikarp though. There's no other strategy I can really do at this point, so I just keep trying and hoping for better luck. Every failed attempt is about 7 to 9 minutes, so this is brutally slow. Eventually, many tries later, I just get insanely lucky on Starmie and she doesn't heal. I thought that fight was for sure going to be a failure since Staryu was healing so much, but hey, I'll take what I can get. I tackle Rock Tunnel next so I can put off doing that stupid trash can puzzle in Sarge's gym. It's rough because I need to run back and restore my power points between almost every trainer fight. Some of these fights are so brutal that I can completely run out of power points and use Struggle, usually in a losing effort. After Rock Tunnel, the world is pretty open though, so I go around and fight every last trainer I can find, getting all the way to level 47. Now it's time for a bit of a boss rush. I finally decide to go after Lieutenant Surge. Sonic Boom is a problem since it always does 20 damage regardless of my defense, but at this level, even with my horrible attack, I can do some decent damage with Rock Tomb. It helps a lot that I gathered a bunch of power point ups so I can get more Rock Tomb uses, since I do miss so much. Double Team is awful, but I got pretty lucky and took out his team before they could dodge too much. Next is Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout. He's a real problem because 2 of his 3 Pokemon are Rock type, so it takes tons of power points to fight him. It doesn't help that Onix keeps using Harden. Harden was great at the start of the game when I could only do 1 damage anyway, but now it just means that I'll have to use more and more Rock Tombs, and I only have 16 to go around by this point. That's the max that the power points can go on Rock Tomb, by the way. It doesn't go any higher. I found a decent tactic to maximize my damage is to get Wrap going for the passive damage, then intentionally waste time on things like Encore and Rest, just to save on power points. Wrap's passive damage doesn't extend in any way if you spam the move, so it's in my best interest to only use Wrap when the passive effect has already worn off. Eventually, Onix goes down and Kangaskhan is out, although my power points are getting low. She can't Harden, but she can Tail Whip me, so that could be cause for concern. She eventually goes down, but Rhyhorn is out last, and he keeps the Tail Whips up. Worst case scenario is I have to resort to using Struggle with my almost non-existent attack stat. I ran out of Rock Tombs, but Giovanni doesn't use any potions in this fight, so thankfully, it never came to the point of using Struggle. Last for this little boss rush is our rival battle at the Pokemon Tower. It was going great for a while, insanely bad missing luck aside, and I take him out easily until Execute. Hypnosis is an issue, but Leech Seed is a bigger issue. If he hits it, then I can't win without lucky crits. It heals him a lot, and I can hardly hurt him. I had to just try more. Many attempts later, and I get to one where he just keeps using Confusion and Hypnosis rather than Leech Seed. I have no idea why, but I'm not gonna pretend like I understand the weird parts of Gen 3 AI. It's mostly good, but sometimes it's just weird. He goes down to enough Rock Tombs and Kadabra slowly goes down to Wrap. Gyarados has Intimidate, so I've lost some of my already super low attack, but at least he's part flying, so Rock Tomb is super effective, so he isn't too hard. I'm just happy that I didn't have to grind again. Just because I didn't need to grind for that doesn't mean that I don't still need experience though, so as always I fight every trainer I can find on my way to getting the Pokeflute. I also catch 30 Pokemon so that I can get the Item Finder, a required item for the leftovers. I've seen a lot of people say just press A where the leftovers would be, but it doesn't work that way. See, I'm pressing A, nothing happens. Then you stand on it and you use the Item Finder, and you just automatically pick it up. Leftovers aren't a normal hidden item, it's a secret that requires an Item Finder. Anyway, leftovers give me 1/16 of my health back every single turn while it's held. That's not much since we have really low base health, but considering we hardly get hurt anyway, that's not bad. Also, just a reminder in case you skipped the rules at the start, we're allowed to use held items. It's right there on screen. Believe me, tons of people skip the rules. It's crazy, I got called a cheat on these videos like literally every day because they don't read the rules. Anyway, I skip past Silphco and do Koga's Poison Gym first. His opening Koffing gets 2 smoke screens, lowering my already bad accuracy before hardly hurting me with the self-destruct. Next is Muck, who keeps using Minimize. Then Acid Armor to raise his defense. Okay, this fight sucks already. This is the single longest fight I've had with one individual Pokemon in my entire history of doing Pokemon challenges. What is this, like challenge 12? It took so long that we ended up both using Struggle on each other, mostly missing, for entire minutes. Eventually, Muck went down, but the next Koffing just hit me with Toxic, and since it does more and more damage as time goes on, there's no possible way that I could win once that happens. That's a shame because I came here to get the Toxic TM. I'll have to come back later when I'm a higher level, I guess. I go back to fighting every trainer I can, this time in Silphco. Roman's brutally low attack is really causing issues now that higher health Pokemon are common. A while later and I realized that I never did Erica's Grass Gym. She doesn't pose any real threat, it's just a really slow battle. We take her out without any real trouble. So we can't really progress until we can either beat our rival or Koga, and we're too weak for either, so I have to grind a bit. You know, real quick while I grind, a little bit of a public service announcement. I know a lot of you guys are new to the channel, so I'm not gonna be too hard on you, but I'm Madry Bread. Not my dry bread, not Madry Beard, it's Madry Bread. People usually call me Madry or MDB. I've seen tons of confusion about that recently, and although I've said that in roughly 5,000 of my videos, and yes, somehow I've made over 5,000 videos, I know that most of you don't watch the Let's Play stuff since that's just a huge time commitment, so I thought I'd let you know that here. Oh, also, during the grind, I saved and decided to try out my hidden power to see what type it was. I got Dark type, so mildly useful, but I decided to restart before the save and just keep Wrap for now. That might be good for Agatha though. Agatha's the one that I think I might not be able to beat. A while later and we hit level 69, nice, and let's look at our stats. I just always find it funny to look at how ridiculously lopsided Roman's stats are. Let's take a crack at the rival in Silphco. First is Pidgeot, so I naturally Rock Tomb it with no issue. Next is Charizard, who's double weak to Rock, so he isn't hard, although he smokescreens me and hits Scary Face, so my speed and accuracy are both down. Execute is next, and for whatever reason, even though Bulbapedia says he still has Leech Seed, he just doesn't use it. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Between me missing and my paralysis, I take forever to take him out, but he just never uses Leech Seed. Next is Alakazam, but his only attacking move is Future Sight, so he isn't really a threat. His Reflect stalls me quite a bit, and he isn't really doing damage, so I don't get an easy chance to use Recover to remove paralysis, since I need to be hurt to use it, and leftovers keep maxing out my health. Eventually though, I manage to use Rest and keep using Wrap until he goes down. Much like how I don't know why Execute didn't use Leech Seed, I have no idea why Alakazam didn't just use Recover. Last is Gyarados, and as always, it cuts my attack. It has Dragon Rage, so I need to be careful, as it always does 40 damage regardless of my crazy defense. I end up winning, but it was very close. Giovanni is next, and although the battle is easy and we're not really in any danger at this point, I'm sure you can tell from this footage, it's going a little bit faster than usual. That's because this took me 14 entire minutes just for this one Pokemon battle. Giovanni stalled me out pretty hard. Psychic Gym is next. Sabrina really didn't stand a chance. Her Pokemon all have terrible physical defense, so even with my awful attack, I was able to overpower her pretty easily with Rock Tomb. I had to use Encore a little bit to shut down the recovery spam, but it wasn't too bad. We finally have to fight Koga. I'm very careful to use Encore to try and reduce the chance of getting hit with Smokescreen, but I can't stop Acid Armor from beefing up Muck's defense or Minimize from increasing his evasion, as he didn't attack early enough for me to loop him into it with Encore. He didn't get to Minimize more than once though, so that already puts me in a better place than my last attempt. Did you know that Koga has 2 Hyper Potions? Yeah, this battle was awful. Eventually his next coughing is out, but of course he just starts smoke screening me, because I can't have a single fight without my accuracy being messed up. Thankfully, he self-destructed before too long, so his last wheezing is out. I'm nearly out of power points by now, so this is rough. Plus, he has smoke screen, so every member of Koga's team has something that can affect accuracy in some way. Plus, Toxic is a terrifying move. In spite of my awful accuracy at this point, I have astonishingly good luck hitting Rock Tomb for once. It's not enough to take him out before I run out though, so I have to spam Rest until I run out of power points. Struggle's accuracy is lowered by Smokescreen though, so I still miss plenty, but 2 struggles later and I finally win this never-ending battle. Yes, this battle was even longer than the Giovanni one. With that victory, I finally get the TM for Toxic and replace Encore. Encore was good, but Toxic is the perfect move for Shuckle, since I can outlast anything. I could use this to beat just about anything that's not Poison or Steel type. I also replace Wrap with our Dark type hidden power, so I can deal with Agatha's Poison type ghosts later in the game. Next is Blaine the Fire Gym Leader. Now that I have Toxic for offense and Rest for removing status afflictions and healing, I can pretty much stall out most Pokemon that we're gonna run into. So although it's a very slow strategy, it's an incredibly effective one. Blaine didn't stand a chance, but Ground Gym Leader Giovanni is a different story. I decided to skip the Sevi Islands and go right for Giovanni. His rock types are no longer such a terrifying brick wall for us to overcome thanks to Toxic, but he has both a Nidoqueen and a Nidoking. They can't be poisoned. Once again, it's a really long fight, but not a particularly dangerous one. By Nidoking we have to use Struggle, but he had already hurt himself by then, so I wasn't really too concerned. That was our last badge, so we have one last rival fight before the Elite Four. Pidgeot is out, and I don't even bother with Toxic at first, but he uses Feather Dance to ruin my already awful attack, so I have to poison him. Thanks to that, my hopes of speeding up Pidgeot and Charizard with Rock Tomb are dashed across the aforementioned rocks, so I have to slowly poison and stall his team. He has no poison types or steel types, so the strategy works fine, but what really surprised me was just how much damage his Charizard's Flamethrower was doing. I have almost 400 special defense, so the fact that he still does a decent chunk of damage is insane to me. Last is the Elite Four, but honestly, as strong as my tactic is, I think I'll need to be a higher level before I can beat Agatha, so I have to grind a bit more. Well, I grind if you'll allow me. If you're watching this on the day that it came out, my 27th birthday is tomorrow. For about 8 years now, I've done a stream on almost every birthday over on Twitch TV. So if you want to swing by, I'll have a link to my Twitch TV page in the description. If you're watching this in the future, the whole thing will be uploaded to YouTube after. Now, I don't want you to feel obligated to subscribe on Twitch just because it's my birthday, that costs you money. If you want to do something nice for free though, do me a favor and retweet my Twitter video in the description and the pinned comment. It's my bid to get Twitter verified, one of my life goals for before I turn 28. A video pitch like this worked for Boundary Break, so let's see if we can make it work for me. Thanks for your support. Let's finish this grind and take on the final challenge. After a ton of grinding and topping it off with a handful of rare candies, we finally hit level 100. Here's how our stats look. Our attack is not too bad. I mean, it's awful for level 100, but for Shuckle, I'll take what I can get. Defense and special defense are just ridiculous, and I'm happy that I got nearly 200 health. I'm sure if I EV trained properly, I'd be better, but my options before Brock were pretty limited. I also used power point ups from around the map and from Meowth's pickup. It wasn't enough to max out hidden power, and I haven't even boosted rest, but hopefully it's enough. Now's your last chance to make your guesses on if I'll complete this challenge or not. Comment down below and let me know. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. She isn't so bad since we have type advantage on her whole team. Everything is either Ice, Psychic, or both, and we have Rock and Dark. I still have to use Toxic plenty, but she never really has me that worried. Simple battle, although I probably had the worst critical hit, hitting self in confusion, and missing luck I've ever had in a Pokemon battle. Next is Bruno, the fighting and rock trainer. My moves are resisted by his whole team, so I have to rely on Toxic. Unfortunately, the Elite Four all use full restores, and because that removes poison, I then have to reapply them to beat them, so that really slows down the battles. He isn't really that dangerous until Machamp. Between all the defense loss from Onix using Screech and Machamp using Bulk Up, Cross Chop does insane damage. Even with my 500 defense, after all those modifiers, he's able to two-shot me on some of my runs. On this run though, I had much more defense by the time I got to Machamp, and he never crit me. I nearly ran out of power points thanks to his full restores delaying the battle so much, but eventually I won. I max ether Hidden Power, use 2 ethers on Rock Tomb, and move on to Agatha. I predict that she'd be brutal, and I was right, this one's insane. I have 2 of the 4 only moves that can hit most of her team that Shuckle can learn, and I still do so little damage. I could learn Earthquake for Arbok, but it wouldn't hit our other Pokemon due to Levitate. Also, there's no way that I'd have enough Rock Tombs for the entire rest of her team. Arbok likes to spam Screech and super effective Iron Tail, so it actually hits really hard. Her whole team is poison type, so Toxic doesn't work. On some runs, I even make it to the final Gengar, but that's only if I have good luck on her misses with things like Iron Tail and Hypnosis. Her second from last Pokemon is a Haunter who often uses Curse, and that nearly always results in fainting fast. After a ridiculous amount of attempts, I get just the right amount of critical hits and enemy missing luck to win. I spent almost half the day replaying that fight until it finally went my way. That was awful. I use an elixir and move on to Dragon Trainer Lance. He is far harder than I expected, mostly because I was afraid of running out of power points since I only had 2 ethers left. The bulk of his team was slow to fight, but not difficult, but the problem I didn't see coming was his last 2 Dragonairs. They have Shed Skin, so they have a 30% chance of removing their status afflictions each turn. So in this case, my Toxic Poison. It took a very long time and a lot of power points, but I did take him out. I ether Toxic and Rock Tomb, then move on to the final battle with our rival. Each member of his team has their own trait that makes this battle especially hard with so few power points. Pidgeot lowers my attack a ton with Feather Dance, so I can't take him out quickly with Rock Tomb. Then Gyarados can lower it even more with Intimidate. Often, I'm using moves not because I want to, but because I can't do nothing. Technically, I could use Pokeballs or a Pokeflute to pass turns, but that would be using the item menu in battle, and I don't want to break the rules that I started with. By the end, because of his 4 full restores and Toxic not having 100 accuracy, I ended up running out of power points before Charizard, so I never got to use Toxic on him, dooming me. I'm not ready to give up the challenge yet though, so I start walking around the world gathering a handful of Max Ethers and Max Elixirs so that I can fully restore my power points between each Elite Four member. Yes, that means I'm gonna have to do the Agatha fight again, and I'm dreading it. Let's do a lightning round since you already know how all this goes. Lorelei was easy, Bruno took a few tries, Agatha took a few hours. This time I had animations turned off to speed it up, so that helps. Lastly, Lance was shockingly easy this time. I beat him first try thanks to better Shed Skin luck. Finally, we're back to the final battle with full power points. First of all, a lot of attempts die thanks to Pidgeot using Sand Attack. If Toxic misses too much, then I flat out can't win. He has 6 Pokemon and 4 full restores, so chances are that I'll need to hit Toxic 10 times. Toxic can miss though, so I can't miss more than 6 times and still have any chance of winning. It's a long and brutal fight thanks to just how long everything takes to take out, but at least I'm mostly at the mercy of the first Pokemon rather than something later. Eventually, on a bad accuracy due to Sand Attack run, I managed to hit Toxic on the last Pokemon, his Charizard, with my very last power point that I had, when he had already used all of his full restores. With that and a few more turns, I managed to beat the game. I feel bad rating this, because I feel like it's not as exciting not having the blow-by-blow recap, but that's my own fault for accepting the Shuckle challenge, I guess. These fights aren't exciting, they're just brutally slow. Much like the Magikarp challenge, it's about endurance more than anything else. I hope you enjoyed though. The next challenge is shaping up to be a really interesting one. Next Saturday, I'll be doing Pokemon Black with a team of only first form bug Pokemon. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Also, check out the playlist in the description to watch all of the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you want to see more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend Whatageek and I are doing a black and white randomizer over on his channel. Also, come to my Twitch streams and tell me that the video sent you. It's always cool to hear how you found the channel. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day. Stock back up on Pop, but our money is starting to get pretty bad. Without as many Zigzagoons to use pickup with, and with just how much health Yoko needs to heal after using his struggles, it's getting expensive to keep up with. Still, it preserves my power points, so I need to keep doing it. On my way north to Fortree City, I find myself a couple more Lep berries. Can't wait to plant these things in an easier area to come back to. The one nice thing about this challenge is that the more days that pass, the easier it gets due to getting my power points back. Next is the Weather Institute. Once again, there's a bed here that's not technically a Poke Center, but it may as well be, so I refuse to use it. The Aqua Grunts are easy, so next we're on to the May Battle. It's a total sweep with the very, very few power points that Yokozuna has left. Once I got to Fortree, I deposit Follow and take out that Swablu that we caught earlier, and I teach it Fly. Shame I can't actually fly until after the gym. It'd be great to go get some more Pop. Now, there's a 0% chance that my team can beat the Flying Gym Leader's team right now, so I'm right back to grinding. Most of our Pokemon resist both water and fighting, and are immune to ground, and that's pretty much all the types I use. Electric would make short work of her, but I don't have any electric moves, so I teach Shockwave to me. Still feels weird to say. He'll for sure need more levels before he can compete though. While I'm grinding, I'm sure that at least some of you have already commented saying, why haven't you just moved your system clock 16 hours forward over and over to get unlimited Leppa berries? I'm gonna point to the no exploit rule on that one. It's not an in-game exploit, but it's exploiting the system clock, so it's a system exploit. Maybe you don't consider that directly against the rules, and I can kinda see that perspective, but don't you think the challenge is more interesting knowing that I can't do that? That just means I have to be extra careful with the moves that I do use and how often. This game would be easy if Yokozuna always had power points. Dude's a bulldozer. Anyway, grind is done, so I drop a save, use an elixir on Yoko, and jump into the fight. First out is Swablu, who easily goes down to fake out an arm thrust. Next is Skarmory, and its aerial ace does decent damage, but my vital throw really messes it up. A second round of the same scores the knockout. Third is Tropius, so I start using Strength. It hits hard as Tropius uses Sunny Day to set up for its Solar Beam, but ends up going for Aerial Ace instead to get a shot in before I finish it off. That was a smart move on her part. Next is Pelipper, so I switch for me and use Shockwave. It protects against the first one, but my second one hits, as it fails its second protect. Third round is another protect, and fourth, I knock it out. She didn't even try to fight me. Last, she sends out Altaria, so I switch for Yokozuna for raw power. First, I hit a fake out to do some early damage, then strength, and I nearly take it out as it uses Dragon Dance and eats a berry for health. Aerial Ace nearly takes out Yokozuna, but one last strength wins the fight. If she didn't actually have that berry, she probably would have used a Hyper Potion due to the red health, and I could have actually lost Yokozuna. Now that I can fly, it's much easier to go to Slateport and restock on Pop. Thank God this isn't like older generations where you have to heal at Poke Centers to be able to fly to those cities, or else my map would be pretty barren. We have one last battle with May before we take on Aqua and Magma. It's a total one-sided beatdown for the most part with Yoko using Struggle. The King's Rock that he's holding for Flinch Chance helps too. For Grovyle, I used Earthquake and almost go down, but two Iron Tails take it out. Not too bad. The Team Magma base is pretty much a cakewalk. We're at a point in the game where Yokozuna alone is enough to struggle through most trainers due to his insane attack, but that I need to use real moves and power points on bosses. Real quick, here's a stock of our PowerPoint recovery items. 3 Ethers, 2 Max Ethers, 2 Elixirs, and 3 Leppa berries. That's with me being really frugal too. This is why I made that struggle strategy for grinding and weak trainers. I can't afford to run out of power points. At the end of the base is another maxi fight. I use an Elixir on Vital Throw and move in. First is Mightyena, so I lose attack to Intimidate and speed to Scary Face, but one Vital Throw takes it out. Second is Crobat, a pretty strong Pokemon, so I switch for Earthquake. It hits with a Confusion Ray, but I land Iron Tail for a bit of damage and lower its defense. He switches for Camerupt, as I hit myself in Confusion. I switch for a Miracle and get hit with Earthquake, dealing a lot of damage. I hardly have any Surfs or Mud Shots left, but one Surf was enough to take it out. Crobat is out again, and man, this is so long that I can't recap it blow for blow. Crobat is a seriously tough Pokemon if you don't have a super heavy hitting rock, ice, or electric type for it. I tag in and out with most of my party to try and take this thing down. Eventually what did it was 2 sand attacks from me and a handful of Iron Tails from Earthquake. It got so bad at one point that I actually had to heal. Finally, the Pokemon I hardly use pulls out the win for me. Aqua Base was a cakewalk, so I head straight to Shoal Cave and catch a Spheal. This is the last new Pokemon that I plan to get, so I replaced Twitter with him, and that's the last of our PC use for the rest of the game. I'm a huge fan of Ice as an offensive type, and Spheal becomes a really tanky pick. Mine has Thick Fat, an amazing ability that makes it take half damage from fire and ice moves. It's also docile, so neutral stats, and it has some good ice moves, so I'm already pretty happy with this catch. It's a shame that my already falling apart pickup strategy is pretty much dead at this point, since I only have one Pokemon doing it, and half the time he can't because he's holding an experience share. Right away, I use experience share and grind it up to level 32 to evolve it, since Ice will be great in the next gym. I also explored the abandoned chip to get the TM for Ice Beam, since it's a pretty strong and reliable ice move. Next are the Psychic Gym leaders. This is a scary one since it's a double battle. I open with Yokozuna and our newly evolved CeeLo versus their Xatu and Claydol. I faked out Xatu to hold off as I Ice Beam Claydol for decent damage. Claydol does Earthquake and it hits CeeLo bad. Xatu ends CeeLo with Psychic, so I switch for a Miracle, while Yoko hits Strength on Claydol. Earthquake hits again, hurting my team. Claydol gets healed, and a Miracle goes to red health on Psychic, as a Critical Surf completely takes out their side of the field. I only had one Surf left. They send out Lunatone and Solrock. I have one Mud Shot left, but never get to use it as Solrock finishes Miracle, so I bring out Earthquake. It gets hit hard by Lunatone. Vital Throw does massive damage to Solrock, and Earthquake goes down to a second Psychic, so Swablu is out. It also goes down to Psychic. I don't know why they're not aiming for Yokozuna. Vital Throw finishes off Solrock, so now it's 2-on-1. Sand Attack lands on Lunatone, and it starts using Calm Mind, but the battle is all over, as I'm able to finish it off with a couple more Vital Throws, but not before me faints. Thankfully, trainers give you a lot of money now, so it's not as big of a deal that I need to buy revives for my whole team. But reviving through items doesn't restore power points, so we're still pretty low on Pokemon like Miracle. We're getting into the world-ending part of the game, so we have to take on the Aqua leader Archie. Mightyena is out first, and I still have a few power points left over from the Psychic Gym on Yokozuna, so Vital Throw makes short work of it. Crobat is next, so I switch for CeeLo for Ice Beam. We get confused, but still hit. Being underleveled with most of our team is really rough here. He heals with a Super Potion, but we get lucky and hit again. He uses another Super Potion, and confusion wears off, so we just hit him again. He finally fights back and does a good chunk of damage with Air Cutter, but we finish him off. I switch to me to deal with Sharpedo with Shockwave, and he just taunts. Shockwave doesn't really do much damage because our nature is bad for special attack, and we're not electric type. Archie is really picking bad moves though, so I end up winning easily. How'd this guy get to be the leader of Team Aqua? So there's a lot of world-ending stuff here. Legendary's fighting, the world is flooding, I need to seek out a legendary dragon. It's all pretty fancy stuff, but I'm just here to be the Pokemon champion, so let's just rush through this whole saving the world thing. That 8th gym badge is far more important. Juan is the last gym leader, a water trainer. I use an elixir and start sweeping with Yoko. Love Disc goes down to a fake out and arm thrust. Second out is Whiscash. 2 strengths take it out as I get hurt a bit by Earthquake. Kingdra is out and it knows double team, so I start using Vital Throw right away since it doesn't miss. I don't have to use it much though, as I instantly crit and take it out. Next is CeeLo, and it lowers my attack with Aurora Beam. I crit with Vital Throw a second time in a row and take it out. That's incredibly unlikely. Last is Crawdaunt, who's part dark, so he misses with Clawhammer, and I take it down to a sliver with Vital Throw. He uses a Hyper Potion, but Vital Throw takes him to a sliver again. He uses another Hyper Potion, so I throw him again. Finally, he runs out and I finish him off. That was shockingly easy. Anyway, I'm on my way to the Elite Four and... crap, I forgot that Wally actually ambushes you here. I'm not really ready for this. He sends out Altaria, and I'm not even fully healed. Fake Out and Strength do a lot, but I get hit hard with Aerial Ace before taking it down. I have almost no power points on a Miracle, but switch to him anyway, because I can at least try for takedown. I get 1 Mud Slap in to lower his accuracy, as he gets off a Future Sight and Psychic, hitting hard. Takedown doesn't do much. Second Psychic misses, and I land another takedown when Future Sight hits and ends a Miracle. I don't really know who to send out, so I go for CeeLo. He switches for Magneton while I start body slamming and it paralyzes him, so I switch back to Yokozuna. I fake out because I can flinch him, and then go for Vital Throw, but his second Thunderbolt takes me out. I switch to Mii and use a Revive on Yokozuna. I hate resorting to that, but I was caught with my pants down on this fight, and I need that kind of muscle to win. Thunderbolt takes me down, but I do hit a Sand Attack. Yoko is back out, and this time I land a Vital Throw for a one-shot. Next is Gardevoir, and Yokozuna is my high-speed Pokemon that's not fainted, so I just go for Strength twice. It lets off a Future Sight after healing, but that's a problem for future me to deal with. Delcatty is out, and it uses Sing, putting me to sleep. I switch to Swablu so that it can take the hit of Future Sight rather than Yokozuna. It goes down to that and a critical Feint Attack. Sleeping Yokozuna is out, and I keep trying for Vital Throw. Delcatty's Feint Attack does almost nothing, so I should be okay. Eventually I wake up, and Vital Throw takes it out. Last is Roselia, so I switch for CeeLo and Ice Beam as it hits us with Toxic. It hits with a Magic Leaf, bringing us to only 4 health, but my next Ice Beam finishes it off, winning me the fight. That went shockingly well considering I wasn't ready for this fight, but there is no way I am beating the Elite Four with this low level of a team. Grinding is hard because I pretty much have to do it all with experience share and some rare candies, but you guys saw me do the Wobbuffet challenge. You know that that won't stop me. I need to at least evolve all my Pokemon, so it's time to grind. I go and make a Shell Bell and give it to Yokozuna so that he can heal while I grind, saving me a ton of money in the long run. Then I get to it. I'm at it for hours and hours this time. People often ask me how I'm able to get these videos out so fast compared to a lot of other channels, and the answer is that day and night, I do this. I often do my editing for other videos while I'm grinding in Pokemon for you guys. I get told all the time to take time off after big videos like this one, but honestly, why would I? Every day when I check my Twitter, my Discord, and my YouTube comments, I see people cheering me on. I had 8 long years of a video a day minimum, and that got me 60,000 subscribers. And then suddenly, over the course of 30 days, I get another 40k. Everyone loves a story about overcoming the odds, and that's what I've been doing for 8 years. These Pokemon challenges are just the newest version of that for me. I may work non-stop, but that hard work and your support is the reason why I'm about to pay off my debt and have the money to help take care of my mom. You guys got me past 100,000 subscribers. Why would I sleep when my life has become better than my dreams? Thank you for the unending support, everybody. It's time to crush this challenge. I get my whole team to level 50, so here's what we've got. I've hunted down most of the PowerPoint restoring items in the game, so we're almost filled up on each move, but I saved a few for the Elite Four itself. I have 1 Ether, 2 Max Ethers, 1 Max Elixir, and 3 Lepa Berries left. We'd have more if I didn't constantly forget to pick them on time. Time to take our shot at the Elite Four, first with Dark Trainer Sydney. I just sweep through with Vital Throw, he was nothing special. Second is a hard one, Phoebe, the Ghost Trainer. I gave Shadow Ball to me, but Ghost types are still a real problem. First is Dusclops versus a Miracle. He is awful to fight because his ability Pressure makes us use extra power points. He spams Protect and Confuse Ray to get us to waste as many power points as possible, and it works really well as he chips away at us with the occasional Shadow Punch and Confusion damage. Between him using Protect and him healing with a Full Restore, we go down to 1 Surf left and lose a few Mud Shots. Next is Bayonet, and I use my last Surf for pretty solid damage. Shadow Ball almost takes us out, and we finish Bayonet with Mud Shot. Next is Sableye. In Gen 3, he had no weakness, so we just go for another Mud Shot and hit hard. Feint Attack finishes off Miracle, so I switch for Earthquake. Earthquake uses Earthquake, no way that can be confusing, and it leaves Sableye with a Sliver. And Iron Tail finishes it off. Next out is our Dusclops, and I use Iron Tail for big damage, but he uses Earthquake and takes Earthquake to half health. This name was a mistake. This is what I get for going with wrestling references. Iron Tail brings Dusclops to red health as a second Earthquake takes Earthquake to 2 health. He full restores as Earthquake uses Earthquake, and Iron Tail finishes him off. Last out is Bayonet, and Earthquake gets taken out with Thunderbolt. Does the word Earthquake sound weird to anyone else right now? I send out me and go for the Shadow Ball that I taught it with the TM for this fight, critting and one-shotting. No way I would have made it faint without that crit. Third is Ice Trainer Glacia, first with CeeLo versus Yokozuna. I'm low on Vital Throws. I probably should have used PowerPoint ups before I started. 1 throw took out CeeLo, as with Glalie. A second CeeLo hits with Attract, but I still hit my throw for another one-shot. A second Glalie, and Ice Beam hits us hard, but it goes down in one throw. Last hit is Wall Rain, and I'm all out of Vital Throws, so I go for Reversal, a move that gets stronger the lower my health. Surf drops me below half, so I do tons of damage, but it eats a berry to heal. Ice Beam brings me even lower, but that powers up my Reversal, making sure that I get the killing blow. Easy trainer. Last for the Elite Four is Dragon Trainer Drake. Shelgon is out first, but can't handle a single Ice Beam from Wall Rain. This battle is pretty much the whole reason why I got Nice type. Salamence is out next, and Intimidate cuts our attack. Rock Slide takes out almost half of our health, and we flinch. But the second one misses, so I land an Ice Beam for another kill. That was close. Next is Altaria, who Dragon Breaths us for a little damage, but is double weak to ice, so it's another easy KO. Second from last is Kingdra, and we get paralyzed on a Body Slam, but still hit our Ice Beam. We hardly do any damage since it's not weak to ice, as it does Dragon Dance, and we're fully paralyzed. I go down to a Body Slam. Next is my own Altaria, and I go for Sing, but I miss. Kingdra just keeps doing Dragon Dance, so I keep trying to Sing, missing a second time. Third time finally hits, and I'm pretty terrified of his attack power. My Dragon Breath crits through sheer luck, and I take it out. Last is Flygon, and I wish I still had Ice Beam for this. He uses Dragon Breath on me for a solid chunk of damage as I land Dragon Breath back for much more, plus I paralyze it. A second Dragon Breath takes it out for a surprisingly easy Drake fight. Last for the Elite Four is Pokemon Champion Wallace. I face down his Whale Lord with Yokozuna. I fake out to chip it down a bit, then go for Strength since I can't Vital Throw. Water Spout hardly hurts, so a second Strength finishes it. I love that Shell Bell heals me, even on the killing blow. Whiscash is next, and Strength doesn't do as well. It Earthquakes me and crits for a shockingly large amount of damage. My second Strength takes it to red health as he Hyper Beams me for another large chunk. I finish him with Reversal. I'm surprised he didn't use a full restore. Third is Tentacruel, and he Hydro Pumps me, bringing me to 12 health, but that supercharges my Reversal to one-shot him. Ludicolo is next, and I'm faster, so Reversal takes him down too. With this low of health, Reversal has a base power of 200. Gyarados is next, and I switch from me and use Shockwave for double type advantage. It still hardly hurts him, and he starts his Dragon Dance. He then Hyper Beams me for a one-shot. Damn. Yokozuna is back out, and I go for Reversal while Gyarados is recharging, and I critical hit for a knockout. I hit level 69, nice, and he sends out Melodic, his last Pokemon. He hits with Surf, taking out Yokozuna, so I switch for Altaria. I wanted to Sing, but it has Ice Beam, and it one-shots us. This is bad. A Miracle's next, and I get hit by Toxic. Man, this thing is terrifying. I at least hit a Mud Slap. Surf misses, and I hit a second Mud Slap. Surf misses again, and I hit a third Mud Slap. Surf finally hits for big damage, as I hit a Mud Shot for a large amount of damage, lower his speed, but faint from the poison. It eats a berry, and I send out Wall Rain. I have no good moves for this, so I Blizzard and hope to do enough damage. It hardly hurts it though, and starts using Recover and poisons me. There's no way I'm winning this fight without the muscle of Yokozuna, so I revive him. I go move for move with Melodic for a while, hoping to freeze him, but it doesn't happen and Wall Rain faints. Yokozuna is back out, and I hit Fake Out. I follow up with a Reversal, and I'm actually faster, bringing him down to a sliver of health. It recovers though. Crap. My health is too high to hit hard with Reversal, so I bring it back to red health with Strength. But he just keeps healing. Another Strength brings it to red, and another Recover. I go for Strength once again, since I have more power points than he does, and another Recover. This is the worst final Pokemon duel with the Pokemon Challenge that I've ever seen. I hit Strength, and he recovers. Wallace is that jerk in StarCraft 2 who flies his base into the corner, and then tries to tell you that he totally hasn't lost yet. Look, entire minutes later, and I finally land a crit, winning the fight. I know that items in battle aren't against the rules, but it feels bad to have to resort to a revive. I had no choice, though. If I had kept grinding much longer, I'd have run out of money for healing items. With that battle, though, credits, we beat the game and got ourselves in the Hall of Fame. Although that means I win the challenge, you know this isn't over yet. There's a brutal post-game fight with Steven that I have to at least try. We stand no chance at these current levels, though. I want to grind, but money is still hard to come by. I could refight the Elite Four for money, but I'd have to win every time, and that both costs more money for healing items between fights, and also uses up all of our power points, and that's worth more than the money itself. I decide that I'll grind my whole team to level 60, and that Yokozuna will just be at whatever level he ends up at whenever we end that, and then we can give Steven a try. If my math is correct, to get my 5 specific level 50 Pokemon to level 60, it'll take about 500,000 experience. My math might be wrong on that, it's probably a bit less. The experience charts are a little confusing. Also, we did level up a bit when we did the Elite Four, so that helps. With experience share, Yokozuna ended up at level 86 after a couple days of grinding on the side while I work on other things. Hopefully those levels should be good enough. I wish I could get leftovers from the SS title, but you actually have to sleep in a bed to do that, and that's basically a Pokemon Center style heal, so I don't do it. Before Steven, I use a max elixir on Yokozuna to get my power points back. When you beat the game, your whole team is automatically healed, so the rest of my team should already be at full power points. On to the battle, Steven sends his Skarmory first. We don't have anything great to deal with this, so I send out Yokozuna first, fake out, and spam Vital Throw till it goes down. It uses Spike and Toxic though, so Yokozuna won't be able to do much. Armaldo is next, and he isn't too bad. He slashes for a decent chunk of damage, and 2 Surfs take him out. Next out is Aggron, so I Earthquake to take him out in 1 crit. I doubt the crit was necessary though. That wasn't as lucky as it looked. Cradley is out, so I have Walrein use Blizzard. It hits hard, but he sets up an Ingrain for passive healing. My second Blizzard takes him down, so he probably shouldn't have wasted that turn. Claydol's next, and I don't have anything great for him either, so I send out a Miracle who's pretty beat up at this point. He sets up Reflect, and I use Surf and get another lucky crit, but he full restores as I do my second Surf. He sets up Light Screen next and hits with an Earthquake, nearly taking me out, but 2 Surfs finish him. Last is the pseudo-legendary Metagross. I really can't handle Psychic and Steel as a combo, but I have a plan. I send out Altaria and go for Perish Song. I hang on with red health from his Meteor Mash and then sing the Perish Song. It's a move that dooms both Pokemon to faint in 3 turns. He can't possibly take out all my team in the last 3 turns he has, so through outsmarting Steven, we win with most of our team being almost 20 levels below his. He does some massive damage in the last few turns before he faints, really showing that I didn't stand a chance at this level without Perish Song or insane luck. I'm really happy that I trained up Altaria. I gotta say, I'm really surprised. I thought that this would be my hardest challenge, yet I did it even faster than I did Pokemon Black with 1 Bidoof. It's crazy to think that I was able to overcome such a drastic level disadvantage at the end, especially with how little I used Yokozuna on Steven's team. That was a really hardcore challenge. So let's do another fun one while I figure out what my next big video will be. Tons of you guys requested it, so next Saturday will be Pokemon Gold with every in-game trade. And this one's much harder than the Gen 1 challenge. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I still get suggestions that I've never seen before, so I appreciate it. Also, check out the playlists in the description if you'd like to watch all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. I've done like 10 now, I think. If you guys want to see some more Pokemon stuff from me, check out the Black and White randomizer playthrough that What a Geek and I are doing over on his channel, linked in the description, and go thank him for helping me revise these scripts